So get into a comfortable meditation posture then. So depending on whether you're sat on a chair or you're on the bed like I am, getting a sense of your feet feeling grounded, feet flat on the floor. Taking your attention to the places where your body's resting against the surface that you're either sitting or lying on. Just taking your attention there. And just giving your weight up to gravity. Allowing the chair or the bed to take your weight. And perhaps getting a sense of appreciation for that surface to be supporting you. Let's just take the chance just to arrive in the practice here together this evening. Getting the sense of slowing down. Taking this time for yourselves, not having to rush around. And just having the chance to be present with yourself and with each other. So on the next out breath, allowing the body to settle down into the practice, into your posture. And then taking your attention to your breathing. And just noticing what your breathing is like. Remembering that we're not trying to change anything at all, not trying to change the way you breathe. Mindfulness meditation, we're just noticing what your breathing is like. This meditation this evening is an open awareness meditation. So it's just an invitation to be present with whatever it is that arises. And just having an attitude of curiosity. So rather than judging whatever arises, whether that's a thought, an emotion, or a bodily sensation, not judging it, but just being curious about it. With a kindly awareness. So just taking that sense of curiosity towards the breath now. And just being with the breath in whatever way that's showing up for you. Just being curious about it. It's being a bit of an explorer. So what does your breath actually feel like? What does breathing feel like? And what does it feel like in this moment? And where do you feel it? And an invitation to use all of our senses when we're aware of our breathing. So is there a sound to the breath? And what about your sense of smell? What do you smell when you breathe in? Is there a smell to the breath? And remembering that everybody's experience is different. Just being curious about your experience. Is there a sound to the breath? And what you taste when you breathe in? Maybe if your mouth is partly open when you breathe in, you may notice the tongue or the lips becoming dry or not. And using our sense of touch, maybe holding your hand by your mouth and just seeing what it feels like as the breath escapes the body. What does the breath feel like on your hand? Or maybe placing your hand on the chest area or the belly. And just feeling the movements of the breath in the body. And what's showing up for you when you breathe this evening? Sometimes if we're a little bit stressed, a little bit anxious, sometimes we might breathe in, but we don't breathe all the way out. Perhaps there's a sense, is there a sense of holding the breath? And then taking that attitude of curiosity with you as we explore the breath in the body. So then taking your attention to the part of the body where you feel you're breathing the most strongly. Just take your attention there for a moment. Allowing your awareness to be open to anything that arises, all of your experience as it arises in each moment. And just getting a sense of how the body's always moving when we breathe. Movements in the belly, the chest, movements in the sides of our bodies, and subtle movements in the back of the body as well, almost like an echo of the breath. And then taking your attention to the chest area. And on your next in-breath, following the breath all the way in. And then all the way back out again. And becoming aware of the lungs inflating on the next in-breath. And deflating on the out-breath. Becoming aware of the ribs as they rise on the in-breath and fall on the out-breath. And then taking your attention down the body into the diaphragm. Diaphragm is the large muscle that stretches from one side of the body to the other and begins to move with our first breath. And is constantly moving as we breathe in. And then as we breathe out again. And taking your attention down into the belly. And just noticing the movements in the belly as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out again. What does that feel like? What sensations are showing up for you right now? And just giving yourself permission to explore those sensations. And curious about them, not judging, with an attitude of kindliness, kindly curiosity. And then taking your attention around to the lower back. And just resting there for a few moments. And just seeing if you can detect a subtle change in pressure, your back against whatever surface you're resting on. As you breathe in, and then as you breathe out again. And if you find that your attention has been taken away by thoughts, just reminding yourself that it's a magical moment of awareness, just noticing that your attention has wandered. And seeing if you can stand back from your thoughts, just being an observer of them, just watching those thought buses going past. And if you find that you've jumped in with one of them and has taken you away, then choosing just to bring your attention back to the body, back to the breath. And then beginning to take your attention up the back, the lower back. And as you take your attention up the back, just becoming aware of the echo of the breath in the back of the body. As the ribs rise on the in-breath and fall on the out-breath. We feel the movements of the breath in the back of the body as much as we do in the front. It's almost like an echo. And then becoming aware of the lungs inflating on the in-breath. And deflating on the out-breath. And then slowly taking your awareness all the way up and resting your awareness along your shoulders. On the next in-breath, breathing into your shoulders. And then allowing your shoulders to drop a little further away from your ears on the next out-breath. Almost like using your breath as a massage. Massaging any tension away. And staying with the shoulders for a few moments and just being with your breathing there. And then narrowing your awareness down and taking your attention to the tip of your nose and just resting your awareness there gently. And just being curious about the breath as it enters your nostrils. Is there a temperature to it or a sensation of any kind? And then as the breath leaves the body through the mouth, just exploring whether there's any change in temperature or sensations. As you breathe in through the nostrils and out through the mouth. And then inviting you to broaden your awareness out and taking a sense of the whole of your body. As you sit here or lie here, breathe in. Following the breath all the way in. And then all the way back out again. The breath is always often likened to the waves on the beach, where the tide comes in and then flows back out again. Tide comes in and flows back out again. Becoming aware of how our breath is always changing moment by moment. And in the same way that our breath is always changing, our thoughts rise and fall. If we allow them to, if we just stand back and be an observer of them and we don't hold on to them and grasp them, they come into our minds and then flow back out again in the same way as our breath rises and falls. And it's the same with our emotions, always changing, and our bodily sensations, any signs of tension. Seeing if you can be curious about what is, what's arising in each moment. And remembering to also notice the pleasant sensations as well. What do pleasant sensations actually feel like? Let's not forget to be curious about those too. And what makes them pleasant? Is it a warmth, a sense of ease, a sense of comfort. Now, what does pleasant actually mean to you? And if we know what pleasant actually means to us or feels like to us, then it might enable us to notice other pleasant sensations once we know what that actually feels like. We tend to know straight away what the uncomfortable sensations are, and we can probably describe those quite easily. But it often takes us being more focused with our awareness to really pay attention to those pleasant or comfortable sensations. So inviting you now to drop all the effort you're making to notice your breath, notice sensations, and just allow yourself just to be with your body, be with your breath, and be with each other here this evening. Dropping all the effort that you're making. And just enjoying a few moments of unguided meditation. And then bringing your awareness back into the room. Becoming aware of the sounds that are in the room. Becoming aware of each of us that are here this evening together. And just feeling that connection between us all, sharing this meditation together this evening. And on the next breath, breathing in awareness. And breathing out a sense of kindliness towards each other. And taking with you an invitation to take into the rest of the evening and maybe tomorrow the attitude of curiosity. And just being curious about whatever arises for you, whatever takes your attention, and just being curious about it, being curious about what is. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes, perhaps moving a little bit, if you've got a little bit uncomfortable from sitting for a while. And I'm going to stop the recording now so that you can turn your cameras back on if that's okay for you.